Philadelphia Toboggan Coasters, or PTC, is the world's leading provider of wooden roller coaster trains. But through the mid-1970s, this company also designed and built roller coasters. This company has featured some of the industry's most famous designers such as Schmeck and John Allen. So in this video, I will rank their top 15 remaining wooden roller coasters. And as I go through the list, it is worth noting you can find separate reviews for many of these coasters already on this channel, including everything in the top 5. Number 15, Rollo Coaster at Idlewild. This is the ride that inspired Boulder Dash, and it's not hard to see why. It may be a lot smaller, but it features a similarly great setting on a wooded hillside. It is very scenic. The ride's thrill level is on par with a junior coaster, so the airtime is extremely weak. But this ride has some laterals anytime it changes direction, including some strong ones on the far turnaround. While the new trains are an eyesore, the ride is still running smoothly. Number 14, Racer 75 at King's Dominion. The former Rebel Yell wood coaster is running very smoothly with all the recent track work. However, much of the ride's power is gone. You have a ton of bunny hills, but very little airtime. The only moment now is the entrance into the far turnaround, but it is a genuine ejector moment at least. I just wish this ride raced more often. It hasn't done so in my recent visits due to staffing. Number 13, Racer at Kings Island. This ride is a better version of the prior coaster. It races more consistently, and the airtime is more plentiful. It's still a weaker floater, but you'll still come out of your seat at least a few times. And this ride got a boatload of track work recently to make it much more tolerable. Number 12, the Great American Scream Machine at Six Flags Over Georgia. Make sure to avoid a wheel seat in this one. It can be brutal in those even rows, but the odd ones are tolerable. But everyone does need to watch out for the final break though. It is abrupt. If you don't find this ride too rough, you will be able to enjoy several nice pops of airtime. The drops off the final 2 turnarounds in particular have some really strong airtime towards the back of the train. Number 11, Skyliner at Lakemont Park. This coaster is famously located next to a minor league baseball stadium. It is a neat backdrop, and you can even catch a play while on the lift hill. Now, the coaster has seen better days. It looks battered. Thankfully, most valleys are tolerable, but that first one is brutal and tries to break your back. As for the layout, the ride looks unassuming, but the first drop and rise into the first turnaround violently throw you into the buzz bar. It is some great airtime. The airtime gets much weaker as the ride progresses, but you'll still lift out of your seat a bit. Number 10, Thunderhawk at Dorney Park. This ride has its pros and cons. The first few hills are gradual, but the middle section is fantastic. You'll get some strong airtime and nice laterals on the turnaround section. The return leg is severely slowed by a trim brake, but you can still get a little airtime up front. Number 9, Yankee Cannonball at Canobie Lake Park. A decade ago, this ride would have placed in the top 3. GCI retracted the coaster in 2015 and 2016. While the coaster is running smoother than ever, the airtime was significantly reduced in power. Every hill in the first 3 quarters used to abruptly toss you skywards. Now, the only strong airtime moments are the first drop in the very back row and the final L-turn. You still have some mild pops peppered about though, but I miss how this ride used to run. Number 8, Comet at Hersheypark. Up front, this would be one of the weaker rides in this list. This placement reflects a ride in the back car. The first half is a trio of really good drops. The second one in particular will launch you into the buzz bar. The second half doesn't do too much due to a harsh trim, but it has a few fun visuals as you pass by Skyrush, and it never gets rough. Number 7, Cannonball at Lake Winnepesaukah. This Georgia park is proud of this coaster and takes good care of it. This out and back layout has one hill after another. The airtime is brief in duration, but it can be pretty sharp at points, especially in the return leg. This is especially true because this is yet another ride in this list with glorious buzz bars as restraints. Number 6, Screamin Eagle at Six Flags St. Louis. I struggled to place this one. My rides in 2018 were great, but it ran much weaker for me in 2020, possibly due to the half-loaded trains due to COVID. A lot of the small hills that gave weak floater offered nothing. Then the extreme pops of airtime into the turnarounds were much milder this time around. Still there though. The ride was very smooth at least, and I love this coaster's wooded setting. I've heard this ride ran much better this past year, so a re-ride is definitely in order. Number 5. Blue Streak at Cedar Point. This iconic out-and-back coaster gets lost in this Ohio Park stacked lineup, but it still offers a good ride in the front 2 rows. The first 2 hills have good bursts of airtime, and many of the remaining hills will also lift you out of your seat. The ride does get noticeably worse further back in the train though, both from a comfort and airtime perspective, so definitely wait as long as needed for something up front. Number 4. Comet at Great Escape. This coaster was built from the bones of the Crystal Beach Cyclone and transformed into a double out and back layout with a sea of airtime hills. My last rides in 2019 and 2021 did feel slower than usual. The ride was not any rougher, but the lesser speed did cause the airtime to be weaker floater in a lot of places. But there was still a good quantity of airtime, and there at least were some stronger bursts towards the end of the ride. Then the sneaky laterals remained though as you fly around the unbanked turns on each end of the layout. Number 3. Wild One at Six Flags America. It pains me this wood coaster is no longer at Paragon Park because I grew up near Nantasket Beach, but I am glad this coaster was saved. It recently celebrated its 100th anniversary, and I'm pleased to say that Six Flags has it running smooth and fast. The ride has some great airtime, particularly in the front car. The negative Gs seem to get better as the ride progresses, and that Helix finale offers strong laterals is a nice contrast. Number 2. Swamp Fox at Family Kingdom. My 2020 rides were among the best I've gotten on any wood coaster. When I returned on opening day 2022, my rides were not nearly as good. The second half was noticeably weaker. I think there were 2 issues. 1. It was 20 degrees cooler. 2. The ride was running much rougher. The ride was actually retracted shortly after my visit, and locals said the power was back. Despite having just buzz bars, the ride has some shockingly strong airtime. It is especially violent on the outward leg, and at its peak, the return leg also tosses you upwards and diagonally. Then you have strong laterals on the final turnaround as icing on the cake. And coming in number 1 is Phoenix at Knoebels. Relocated from Playland, this wood coaster is the reigning Golden Ticket Award winner for the best wood coaster in the world. The restraints, or lack thereof, make this ride special. You have just buzz bars like many of the rides in this list, but no seatbelts. This means every airtime moment will quite literally launch you a foot into the air. Few rides offer airtime this unique and enjoyable. You get negative Gs in every hill, and the ride gets better as it goes, culminating in a quartet of powerful bunny hills. It is one of the best sequences on any coaster, and this is one of the best taken care of wood coasters anywhere. So those are the top 15 wood coasters still in operation from PTC. What are your favorite coasters from this manufacturer? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this countdown, I would appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you considered subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.